when this started. And they have been in a spiritual contact. You say channeling, I don't know, however you want to call it. Is that also the kind of contact that you had?
No. No, I believe in channeling. I've had some amazing experiences with channelers. One in particular who I totally trust. I've had very few direct, through me, experiences of what I might call channeled information, against which, and I'm very worried about pushing my own personal experience, but I believe that I am given a certain amount of access to a certain amount of information which arrives and feels comfortable.
So there was direct contact, so to say. You got the information directly without an intermediate medium. Is that?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So you had direct contact, so to say, but not with a
so to say. Yeah.
Not with an individual.
No.
But you just got the information. It just appeared.
Yeah. Oh, fucking yeah.
Okay.
All the time.
Yeah. People might call that intuition. Is that something that...
Well, I don't mind. You can call it intuition. You can call it bananas. I mean, I don't know what to call it. I mean, it's...
It's just there.
Yes.
Okay. And can you tell me a bit more about what the information encompassed that you got? Maybe you can talk a little bit about one of those experiences where you got a certain kind of information, and what kind of information this was.
I had an experience in 1973. 93.
Mm-hmm.
No. 97.
Okay.
Which was very personal, and I spoke about this in detail this year now at the conference.
That we unfortunately missed.
That you unfortunately missed. But this was the first publication of it. And this could be called, I suppose, a channeling, right? And the circumstances were these. Literally half a kilometre from this house, where we now are, was a star at Bishop's Canning's. This was 3 years before I lived here. I had no way of knowing I would live here. But this star arrived. It was a pentagram. And it was the second only materialised pentagram that came in crop circles. There have been many since then, but I had been very interested in the pentagram. There was a lot of work done on that in 1991 and 92 by John Martineau. And I was very interested in the pentagram. The first one was in 93 at Bythorn, which I did a lot of work on. And then the second one appeared in 97. I was very excited. At that stage, I was having more and more difficulty walking. And I was working with Patricia Murray from California, who's a very fit girl. And we walked into this formation, and she skipped ahead. And I was walking then with one stick, finding it very hard to get in. It was some years before I had to say, I've got to stop now. But it was still very hard, and I think that particular year it had lurched into difficulty. I was surprised by how bad it was. By the time I reached the centre of the circle, I was completely exhausted and I was frightened because I hadn't had this experience before. I was alone. She was off taking photographs around the edge. I got to the centre of the circle and I lay down. And I was a bit panicked. And I said, I didn't speak it, but I said, "Are you here?" And I got an absolutely clear response in my head. I didn't hear it, I just knew it. And the response was, "We are always here, we are always everywhere." I then said, "Will you help me?" And they replied, "We will help you to help you." And I then said, "Thank you, I need guidance." And they replied, "We will not let you fall." It was a 6-element exchange. That was it. And that has kept me very happy ever since. Now, what I realised, for 12 or 13 years, I have assumed when they said, "We will not let you fall," they meant, "We will not let Michael Glickman fall." But suddenly I realised they'd given it to me to tell everybody, "We will not let you fall." So I repeated this for the first time. I've never told anybody, really. I repeated this at this conference 3 days ago. So that is one example of my interaction with them, and it's a very reassuring interaction. I believe them. I believe totally in the veracity of that exchange. You know, I mean, convention would have us believe that when you start hearing voices in your head, you're crazy. I'm very happy with that. I've spent years looking in my bathroom mirror and facing the day on which I might have to accept that I am completely insane. I do that regularly. Am I crazy? So far, no. I seem to be okay. But, you know, it's not easy to sit in front of an audience of 300 people and tell the story of conversations in your head, against which they loved it.
Well, I think that was the right audience, because also Whitley Strieber was there, so I mean, he had experiences that even go far beyond that. So, talking about Whitley Strieber, he had physical contact with who knows what. You don't think that these kinds of contact play a role in the crop circle phenomenon, or these? No. There is also a way of thinking that, how should I put it, that there is a polarity here that plays out, and that different agencies, let's call them that, are making different kinds of crop circles. Do you think that that is the case, that not all of them are, well, there are the hoaxed ones, obviously, but also the genuine ones where the origin is unexplained? Do you think that not all of them are done by this group of 11 extraterrestrial in...
I don't know. What I do know is that substantially there are no hoaxes. Obviously there are a few man-made circles, but they are so bad, they're so obviously discernible, that they're insignificant as a function of this phenomenon. Their real significance is that they create a kind of phantom belief for doubters, so that those of us who've seen this and thought it's miraculous have jumped in the water and said, we're here. There are others who stand on the edge and say, it's very interesting, but we can't really jump in. Maybe they're hoaxes. And so the principal function of the hoax is as an idea.
Isn't it something like when too much pressure is built up, then there is some that releases the pressure?
Yes.
That hoaxes.
Yes, this is true. But it's also true that this has been my 21st season. And I was there when the original Doug and Dave thing came along. And I've spent 20 bitter years far too closely involved with hoaxing. I've written about it, I've spoken about it, and I realise in the past 12 months that I have wasted my time, the time of my readers, the time of my listeners, because I'm fairly close to this business. I know everybody involved. And I can state several things here. First of all, everything you ever hear about a hoax is a lie. The whole hoax thing is based on deceit and an intent to humiliate. Their greatest motive is, let's fool them. So that's number one. Everything you ever hear from anybody with the word hoax in it, it's a lie. Unprovable.
So even those claims by hoaxers?
Oh, they're certainly a lie. They are above all a lie.
Sometimes some of them claim that while they were doing their hoaxing, that they experienced things in the fields that convinced them that there is something else happening here as well. You think that those things are also lies, that they never experienced that and they just want people to believe that there's... you know what I mean?
Yes. I claim I assassinated President Kennedy.
Yeah.
That is my claim.
So...
it is foul, self-serving lies.
Okay. So all of it, you just...
Yeah. I mean, here's the other thing. In all these 20 years, I cannot bring to you, either from myself or other researchers, one single element of truth about hoaxing.
Okay.
Nobody has ever made a discovery. Nobody's ever learnt anything. And I say to them, why do you go down that rabbit hole? It leads to a void. There's nothing there.
So coming back to this polarity,
yes.
Walter visited his first crop circle yesterday, and it